you are running a marketing and sales program directly to sellers, like everyone is doing that, right? I mean, it's not, we're going after the foreclosure market, we're going after the, it seems like everyone's going after the quote distressed seller market, and the reality is that that may or may not be where your sellers are at. I think it's, at least for us, is it the folks that engage a real estate agent in such a way that they want to sell that property and they're going to retire to the foreclosure? Like that seems to be our marketplace. So a little bit different in the last couple of years for us is we're buying a lot of properties on MLS, which is fascinating because everyone tells me like there's no deals on MLS, and we'll, as a property that's listed for 120, we buy it for $100,000, it's $10,000 in work, it's worth $160,000. I mean, it's like that's the marketplace in which we are capitalizing on our experience. So, a little bit different than most investors, but that seems to be the place that we're making our most amount of.
Alan, how many houses do y'all sell a year in White Picket for other people and yourself?
We're a little bit over the 300 part right now, 300 count.
For the year?
For the year. But it's funny because I think everyone on this panel is going to have a different idea on what sales and marketing is. And to me, they're two completely different
Very diverse
conversations.
Very
and
diverse.
They're different departments even when you're dealing with that. As far as marketing is concerned, I feel like in the last 2 years, it's transformed completely. I remember there was a point in time when we would make yellow letters on our printer and send those out, and people would call us, right? And we were thrilled about it. We were ecstatic about it. And I got a little yellow postcard the other day, and it was like, "Sell me your house now, act fast," or something or another. And
Was my name on it?
It probably did. There was a guy with very little hair on it. I'm not sure.
Grass don't grow on the playground, bro.
But the point is, I can't imagine that would work nowadays with the way that consumers and the way that the market is demanding to have transparency and to have multiple levels of them seeing you in different places and different avenues in order to have trust in what you're doing. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So
yes.
I guess what I'm saying is, right now, when that yellow letter used to work, nowadays it's not necessarily the yellow letter. It's the postcard along with the website, along with, does that make sense? Along with the website, along with everything else that you're doing out there so that people can see you on multiple levels and think, okay, this guy's on Yelp, this guy's on Google, this guy's on everything. I can trust him. I can go out and sell him my house and not feel like he's gonna rob me.
Alex uses the word build your own identity online. And that's come from Alex, not myself. Okay. All right, AC, wholesaler of the year. You do a little marketing, you do a little sales.
A little bit.
Talk to us a little bit.
Like he was saying, the market has changed a lot in the past couple of years. We used to do a lot of direct mail, like up to 60,000 postcards and letters a month a couple of years ago. That market has completely shifted. The direct mail is more for our follow-up people that are already warm touches now. And our lead generating marketing is more, we're doing about 40,000 cold calls a month. We're doing thousands of SMS text message drops, thousands of voicemail drops. Kind of like what Alan was saying, we're hitting them from different levels, and then also we have our credibility out there, our website, Facebook, Instagram, our credibility, social media and stuff like that, so they can go look us up. But we're hitting everybody from multiple angles and mass amounts of it. That's our marketing for acquisitions. Sales, we're constantly building our buyers list. Matter of fact, a lot of our buyers are people who turn us down from our cold calls. So when we're hitting our cold calls and hitting a bunch of people, we're adding like 30 to 50 new buyers to our list just from that avenue.
I get 2 calls a day from you.
Yeah, I talked to him the other day on one of my acquisition we're on the phone with them, and they're like, "Oh, you know AC? What's your name? Drake?" And I was like, "Oh, give me the phone."
Give me the phone.
And we talked, so I was like,
Leave me alone, man.
yeah, he told me, he's like, "Man, take me off your list, leave me alone." but that's the way it is. And, you know, he's already on our list. He's bought multiple houses from us, but we hit people like that. Like, man, I don't want to sell nothing. I'm in the business like you are. And they're like, "Do you want to buy something? Do you want more property?" So we're constantly finding new buyers that way. And our list is up at about it's over 122,000 buyers on our email list when we blast the deal out. And that's how we do our dispositions.
Yeah, but before we go to Lowride next and then Rich, I'm a firm believer in this. 80% of all landlords, maybe 90% of all landlords, is either a buyer or a seller.
Yes.
They either want to buy more or want to sell what they got.
No, I was on the phone with a landlord the other day. He's like, "Man, I'm just like you. I want to buy properties." Blah, blah, blah. I was like, "Oh, okay, well, you want to buy? I got properties in your area. You want more?" He's like, "Man, I'm just trying to get out of this house that I'm working on right now." And I was like, "Okay, so you want to sell?"
All right, Lowride, you're Keller Williams agent, correct?
Yes, sir.
How old are you?
Just turned 40 this year.
Just turned 40.
But I look like I'm 30.
You're about a year older than me. Hey. All right. You do a lot of Facebook Live. You do podcasts too, don't you? You do
Oh,
podcasts?
absolutely.
Talk a
And I
little
do
bit
a lot
about
of
that, how you marketing.
Well, I think with social media right now and, taking it a step further than just online marketing, with YouTube, Facebook Live, Twitter Live, all these different avenues, we can reach an audience that you couldn't reach before. Back when you started doing real estate, right? And you had...
Don't clap for that.
Eddie, what was that, like 6 months ago? I mean, how long have you been doing this?
Y'all all want your ass whooped now, y'all want to line up in some of the
So, I mean, it's one thing, so do I want to send out these yellow letter mailers and they get the thick stack of mailers that everybody's getting? Or can I reach somebody on a personal level where they can see a video, they can feel my authenticity, they can see that, wow, I like this guy. And I got a deal last year from Facebook. Somebody had called their attorney and basically he said, "You need to call this guy Murad Fiki." So her dad passed away, left her the house, and he actually passed away in the house and decomposed for 2-3 days. I'm sure you've dealt with something like that. So I showed up to the house. I thought they wanted me to list it, and she said, "No." He said that you can buy it or you can find someone who can buy it. She said, "I'm coming in from New York. I'll be there Saturday. I'm not putting this on the market. I want a cash offer fast." And I was just like, "Okay, well, I'll buy it." The only reason that deal came about is because somebody saw me on social media and said, "Hey, call this guy," or let me connect you with this guy. He can make something happen for you. 10 years ago, that might not be possible. And so, I think it's very important to use these platforms that can really push a voice and get us to a further audience to where people you don't even know on a personal level will reach out to you. And that's powerful.
All right, Richard, I'm going to give you an old industry statement that we make a lot, and then you correlate it back to the topic of sales and marketing. In our business, we sell for cash, or we sell for cash, in our pocket, and we hold for wealth. Okay? And you're with Renters Warehouse, and you manage a whole bunch of properties. How many do you manage?
1,140.
1140. That's a lot of houses. All right. We sell for cash, we hold for wealth. How does that figure into your sales and marketing?
As an investor myself, I've bought a lot of houses, sold a whole bunch of houses, and wish I wouldn't have. We all regret the ones we sold. We don't really regret the ones we bought. There's a lot of highly sophisticated people out there now. When we first started buying houses, we were using billboards. We said, "We buy houses." That's it. And the phone blew up because nobody did it. This was in '97. So we had all this demand, and we were fighting over who had to take the next lead because it was too many. Nowadays, you're competing with these folks who have 20, 30 folks dialing for dollars 24/7, right? So you really got to get creative. I was back here at Real Estate IQ a few minutes ago, not paying attention to Eddie because, good God, who wants to listen to Eddie? But anyhow, I just looked at a half a dozen houses that rent for $1,300, $1,400 in the 70s and 80s on MLS today. I'm not going to tell you where they are because I'm going to go buy them. But I'm telling you, she has them on her screen right now. So they're there. You know, if you're looking to build wealth, you don't have to get 50% on any deal. What you want to do is get a good neighborhood, a blue collar neighborhood. Hold these things long term. There's a lot of different neighborhoods that have great rent to value numbers where the values have not caught up yet, right? So the rents are high, the values are still low. Well, guess what's going to happen? Anybody know the 1% rule, Jason? What's the 1% rule?
I'm familiar with the 1% rule. So a house is worth $100,000, should rent for $1,000 a month.
There you go. So if you got a house that's worth $120 and it rents for $1,500, that value is probably going up, right? So we're building wealth with our rentals, right? So there's neighborhoods in Missouri City, Pasadena, even inside the loop where you can buy a house and pay retail. Cash flow pretty good, and you're probably going to get really good return on investment because they're going up in value and they haven't caught up to the rent yet, right? So, you know, when you say marketing, if you're just starting out and you don't have a lot of cash and you don't have the technological advantages that some of these guys do, some of these guys are pretty sophisticated. You can't spend 20 or 30 grand a month bringing in hundreds and hundreds of leads, right? Well, you can certainly get on MLS and go look at some houses and buy one or two a month that are good deals that you can cash flow and hold those for wealth. I don't know any other way to build wealth. I mean, there's more millionaires built in real estate than any other. Anybody got any objection to that?
I will tell you right now that from a
That's all you're doing is buying whole properties.
That's all we're doing. We made an equity. Oh,
Dude, we got a waiter?
I don't know. I'll take two. You guys get one of those.
Chopped liver over here.
That's because you said something bad about me.
I just don't want
No,
to.
I'm about to say something bad.
Away those tights.
And my lender is sitting there on the podium.
Thank you very much. Who's that?
Jet lending. How much do we have with you guys? $2 mil? $3 mil?
It's a bunch.
It's a bunch. I shouldn't tell my lender this. Eddie, can you put your fingers in your ears?
I can't hear anyway.
What?
We are functionally broke. No, y'all are laughing. We're broke. We're absolutely broke. Do you know why? Because we are buying as much freaking real estate as we can get our hands on. We made $4 million in equity this year between me and my business partner. But that's not like a Brinks truck like rolling up to our house in the Heights.
Yeah, you can't spend equity.
We ain't spending it today. What I'm telling you is there's a massive amount of equity you can buy today that most people don't understand. Like they get into this like, well, real estate's too overpriced. Overpriced for what? Like, you are literally 5 years from now, you're gonna look back, and Rich actually sees this more than any of the guys on this panel.
I've said this 100 times. Go ahead.
Rich has been, how long have you been doing this, Rich? 20 years?
23.
23 years. And he regrets every damn house he sold. I'll tell you that right now, because we were drinking way too much at Willow Country Club.
How about Willow Bend? How much is a house worth in Willow Bend?
Yeah, what were you buying in Willow Bend 10 years ago?
I sold 20 houses in Willow Bend for less than 200 grand. Retail.
Right.
I made a killing that day, one time.
So I bought 16 units in Edo for $550K this year. And everybody thought it was crazy because I bought literally like an L-shaped block. We sold 4 of those assets. We're all in for 150 grand on acquisition. We're gonna be in for another like 160 G's on rehab. We're gonna be all in for a little over $300,000, and it's probably worth 1.2, 1.3. And everyone says, that's an absolutely insane investment. I'm like, are you sure? Because we made almost $1 million on that one investment. Like, I'm telling you guys, this is a window that you can experience for the next 5 to 10 years. And then at that point, it's gone. There's gonna be a post in my little real estate group, my little nonsense real estate group that gets posted in the next 12 hours. Blackstone sold all of their shares for the underlying company that did rental properties. Like, I don't know, $13 billion or whatever the nonsense number is. Like, you guys are totally missing out. Like, everyone's like, oh my gosh, this Katie house that was worth $140,000 and now worth 170 grand, and I'm $20,000 out of pockets into 15. And I'm like, you don't understand the macroeconomics in this thing. We cannot replace that house in Katy, Texas for less than $250,000.
There's the key.
And the guy that runs, how many doors? How many doors you got, Rich?
1,100 something you said.
1,100. The guy that's run 1,100 doors for the last 7 years is telling you buy freaking everything.
Everything under 200.
And I'm the pariah on Facebook. And I will tell you right now, buy every damn thing you can get your hands on below 200 G's in a good neighborhood that's got an HOA. You don't have to sign up for the $50,000 mastermind, the $20,000 mastermind to tell you that. Just freaking buy it. And you use Jet for the short-term loan, you get the freaking house rehabbed, and then you do a long-term refi. It's not that difficult.
Well, hell, Jeff will do those now.
Yeah, we do those.
All day long. It is not that difficult. You want to be a millionaire in real estate? Real simple. Buy the 20 houses over the next 12 to 24 months. In the next 5 years, you'll make $1 million. It's that simple. 7% appreciation of Rule 72, you will make that kind of money in 10 years. It's not that hard.
Okay, let me redirect this just a little bit. That's really good stuff. All right, Alan. You or one of your buddies has a house that's got an ARV of 250, beat up a little bit, but not atrocious, been lived in, no maintenance. And he goes, Alan, sell it for me. Give us something a little creative you might do. Let's say that house is in Baytown, in the really high end of Baytown, 250.
That's the most expensive part of Baytown,
That's right. That's right.
Like a mansion.
That's right.
You get a mansion over there.
That's right. It is. That's the high end of Baytown. That's right. So on the viewer side, house was built in 03.
Okay, it's a little bit beat up.
Built in 03, 04, 05.
Okay.
Beat up, fixed up.
A little bit beat up.
250.
It's worth 250. Is there equity in it?
Yeah, it's free and clear. Your buddy just wants to get it sold. How would you sell it? Something a little creative. What would you do?
Well, I mean, there's so many ways to sell houses these days. I'm a licensed broker, and I run a team of 50 plus agents who can easily sell that house, right? But
You're trying to maximize the money. You're trying to maximize the money.
It depends. Are we going to help this seller maximize the money, or is it something that we want to invest in ourselves?
Your buddy wants you to say. He wants you to maximize your buddy's money.
He wants
to come to you at White.
If my buddy wants to maximize his money, then we need to look at that house and see what it's going to take to get him absolutely top dollar for it. And sometimes it's real simple stuff. Sometimes we look at it and we just say, look, add $1,000 worth of flowers and mulch to the front. Make the front door look really, really great. Make it smell good inside so people walk in and feel great. And you're going to get top dollar for this thing. A lot of people ask us if it's worth putting furniture inside the house, staging.
So you're saying rehab?
If it's only gonna be if we're talking about spending $5,000 to make an extra 15 to 20, you better believe it. And I'm always gonna recommend that to any seller. Now, if this seller is in a scenario where I gotta close it in a week, that's a different story, right? Like, I gotta get this thing closed in a week, I don't have any money to put into it, I need you to just help me get top dollar for it fast and now, right? Now I'm taking off my real estate hat, my real estate broker hat, and I'm saying, friend, what you're gonna need is an investor, and here I am, boom. And here's what it's gonna take for you to be able to sell this house.
Yeah. Well, here's what I'm after. I got an audience here that needs some creative ways to move a house. That's what-
Creative ways to move a house. Look, simple. Right now, most of your buyers are going to be on social media. I completely agree with what Murad is saying. Right now, if you're not on Facebook, on Instagram, even on LinkedIn, you're not reaching your masses. You're not reaching the majority of the people that are going to be able and willing to buy. So simple ways, if he just wants to get it sold real quick, there's so many forums on Facebook that you can just drop your house into. There's probably a Baytown forum for people that want to rent or buy. Boom, drop it in there. There's probably 10,000 people in there right now that you can reach out to, let them know to make you an offer. Maybe you're going to pay some closing costs, maybe you need to move it quick, so you're going to offer some incentives. Drop it in there, you're going to get a handful of people that are going to say, let me look at it, let's see what we can do.
All right, AC, different house. Wayside Tidwell, beat up, not livable.
Oh, he knows your neighborhood.
Why did I get Baytown?
So actually, next door to your house, you
Beat
said.
up, not
That's
livable.
because Eddie just did my loan on my house on Wayside and Tidwell.
You get it under contract, so you're buying it. How you gonna move it?
I'm buying?
You're buying it, but now you gotta sell it. You're gonna sell it, you're not gonna hold this.
Okay,
It's not livable.
Wholesale.
It's not livable.
Okay, I'm wholesaling or rehab.
Well, I don't know, you tell me what you gonna do.
Okay, well, so our company works as,
I'm telling you, you got a beat up house under contract, not livable at Wayside and Tidwell. How you gonna get some money out of this deal?
for me, I'm gonna rehab it or I'm gonna wholesale. That's what I'm gonna do. So baseline, we wholesale everything. But when I say we wholesale everything, myself and my fiance Ceci, we buy stuff from our wholesaling company. So I would, like, we just got one under contract for $17,000 over there. We sold it to ourselves for $29,000. Jet did the loan on it. We put like $90,000 into the rehab, and it's now worth $165,000. We could put that on the market and sell it for $165,000. We're in for a total of like $120,000, $118,000, something like that. I forgot exactly the exact numbers, but like with the fees and everything. And so we have equity that we could sell it. We chose to keep that one as a rental because I believe the area is coming up, but I could easily put that on the market right now and sell it for $165,000. I mean, your guys came and inspected it. It's a pretty much a brand new house, all the way tip top.
If you were gonna sell the house, not the one you rehab, if you're gonna wholesale this house I just gave you to sell, that you paid $12,000 for, $17,000 for, how would you wholesale it? How do you
Also on Facebook, Instagram, and our buyers list, we built a huge buyers list. But right now, Alan is exactly correct. Like, I mean, everybody on this panel has kind of mentioned it. Social media is big right now. I mean, like everything is. Everybody wants easy right now.